Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Hope Podcast. Today we have Matthew Smith from Decorah. Matthew, you are a candidate for Iowa House.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. I am really glad for the opportunity to be here and just talk about everything that's going on with the campaign and just who I am as a person.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I mean, we need more just warriors out there for getting God in government, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, all that stuff. So would you mind starting off by just fill us in on what was the thing that got you to say, well, I'm going to have to get into politics?
So I've always been incredibly weird when it comes to politics and actually enjoying it. Mm-hmm. Few people actually like politics and like digging in and like examining the issues and figuring out what's going on in the country.
Mm-hmm. That's been you?
Yeah.
Even when you were a kid?
When I was 9, I wanted to be an attorney.
Really?
Yeah. And I've always been fascinated with the Constitution, always been fascinated with law, and just always trying to think of how to use that to help people.
Huh.
And then, of course, I went through school and realized very quickly that law school is incredibly expensive, especially for a guy that just graduated college.
Yeah.
I don't want to go right back in and get, even more debt.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah, we could probably use a guy like you in the judiciary.
I'm still thinking about it. I'm flirting between just getting my normal master's and trying to afford my education, maybe in the defense area. Mm-hmm. I know Johns Hopkins has an online degree in intelligence analysis.
Oh, okay.
And so maybe going and becoming a Fed, working for the CIA, FBI, something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. No. Just because my brother was law enforcement. He was a state trooper up in Minnesota for a while.
Nice. Okay.
And then realized he didn't want to go to jail for doing his job, and then got out of law enforcement about as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, like you talking about with what happened to, with around George Floyd and just what happened to the PD up there in Minneapolis.
Yeah. I mean, he spent his 21st birthday under curfew because of the riots.
Wow.
Yeah. He was smack dab in the middle of it.
Wow.
And it's still wild to think that was, 5 years ago?
Yeah, really not that far ago. And I mean, I think maybe I've told this story before. One of the funny things about, I was in prison locked up with a guy named Marcel, and he was a black guy from the hood, drug dealer from the hood in Minneapolis. Yeah. And I asked him about the George Floyd stuff because it never made sense. I'm in prison during this time. Or at least it was a year or two after when I was actually locked up. But I was like, Marcel, what was it? Cops kill people every day. Yeah. Cops kill black people every day. I'm not saying that's a good thing. It's obviously we don't want to kill anybody. But why was George Floyd the thing that made everybody go nuts?
I don't know if that was just residual anger from COVID.
Well, so he had an opinion on it, and he said, he's like, oh, well, nobody really cared about George Floyd. We were all just mad because the cops have been so corrupt for so long in Minneapolis. And, this is just his, keep in mind you're talking to a person who is selling drugs for a living's perspective. Yeah. But, nevertheless, just because, whatever the case may be, he's just expressing the perspective of his population, his friends, family, and friends in Minneapolis. And what made sense to him is the cops treat us like crap all the time. And that was finally the thing that we've boiled over and said, all right, screw you guys. So I just always thought that was such an interesting perspective as it contrasted to what we were told in the media about, the self-righteous fury of, African Americans who've been downtrodden and everything. Well, I'm not saying they haven't had a hard life, but the story that was told to us about George Floyd is certainly not the same thing, at least as far as Marcel was concerned. So anyway, your brother was up there working at that time.
He wasn't in law enforcement then, but there were a couple rounds, where it's he was on standby to have his riot gear ready and go back up. And I can't remember quite how many times that happened.
Yeah.
But that made me realize it's man, I don't want Iowa to become Minnesota.
Right.
It's I want people that are God-fearing in legislature. I want people that are actually willing to stand up and, fight for just everyone.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Liberty. Liberty is something worth fighting for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Going back to how I got involved in politics. So I was a history, poli-sci double major at Luther.
Yep.
And I did that to gear towards law school.
Luther College in Decorah.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And so graduated that with flying colors, and then realized very quickly I didn't want to do law school. just because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But
Doing the LSAT and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, but yeah, it's just realized like, hey, this is an opportunity. There's an incredibly weak incumbent in there. That's a Republican, and he hasn't been voting the way people have wanted him to vote.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, I've always asked God, if you want, let me know what you want me to do.
Yeah.
And just because I'm a young guy, I've always, like most young guys, I struggle trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. Like, do I go straight into the workforce? Do I try and go back to school? Do I try and do this? Do I try and do that?
Yeah, calling is so important.
And I think it got to the point where, I missed out on a couple of job opportunities. Mm-hmm. And throughout the whole process, I've said, God, keep showing me what you want me to do.
Yeah.
If this isn't right for me, let me know. Mm-hmm. And so I would miss out on another job.
Yep.
And another one.
Yep.
And I still kept praying and hoping, trying to figure out that I would get a message.
Yeah.
And then one day, Jacob Hall calls me up from the Iowa Standard.
Yeah, I love Jacob.
And we were talking about the new Turning Point USA chapter that got started on Luther's campus.
Okay.
Which is an incredible victory just for conservatives everywhere at the college level.
Yeah. Tell us how that happened, because I know that's an interesting story, too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, maybe why don't you just frame your whole conversation with... exactly, yeah. A big part of what influenced you, all of us, was what was happening during COVID and the lockdowns while you were at Luther, right?
Yeah, I mean, I spent my senior year of high school on lockdown. I remember Friday the 13th vividly. That was the last day we had school.
Yep.
And then I spent my freshman year at Luther singing in choir, standing 6 feet away from people, wearing masks, trying to scream through a mask.
Oh.
And it was honestly one of the worst experiences of my life. I feel like that rings true for a lot of people.
Oh, and the small details of how perverse it was to cover people's faces, to take away, like, something as simple as like the joy of performing.
Yeah.
Like, you guys love, like, I mean, the reason you sing is because you enjoy it. You're trying to share that beauty, that, like, what that is with other people. And just how evil it was to just put a muzzle on you.
Yeah. I mean, it was a 1 year that I made All-State for speech. I was in one act. Go figure, I was a theater kid.
Yeah.
But I worked, we all worked our tails off for that, made All-State, had a good shot of bringing home a banner, which would be awesome for all of us.
Oh, yeah.
And we couldn't perform.
Oh.
And it's just like, I was class of 21 from Decorah.
Yep.
And so this would have been like the tail end of like the first year of COVID.
Yeah.
And it's just like, at that point we already knew what it was. We knew that it wasn't a major risk to young people.
Not even close.
Not even close. And they still railroaded it through. They still closed school, forced us into online learning. And I'm still terrible at math from it because it's a lot of that foundational education that was done on a computer screen by people that just didn't really care.
Didn't care. Why do you think they did that to us? Like, why? Like...
It's just... I think it's part of the fact, a lot of the stuff that Fauci did was absolutely horrendous. Mm-hmm. And it's just people...
Well, especially with, like, I mean... All the COVID stuff is bad enough on its own, but you start to dive into things like The Real Anthony Fauci, which is RFK Jr.'s book, or just like, I mean, the guy basically tortured puppies as part of an experiment. I mean, this is just a bad person. Yeah. A really bad person.
Yeah, and just people had never experienced something like this before in this era, where the government immediately says, hey, you cannot leave your house.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
The closest we've got to that was the Patriot Act after 9/11.
Yeah.
That essentially, that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can talk about that today if you want. That has its problems. But yeah, continue. Yeah,
it's just it's amazing how quickly people just will roll over when someone says, hey, you can't leave.
Yeah.
And that was one of the most interesting things that came out of that. I feel sorry for the history majors in 10 years because they're going to have to sit back and look through all of this.
All of it. Yeah. So can you tell us, like, as the way you remember this, like, okay, that Friday the 13th lockdown, your mindset was a certain way.
Yeah.
Well, then as you progressed over the next months, surely you informed yourself, you changed, like whatever. Like, how was that evolution? Like, what did you think at the beginning? And then how did that change, over time?
I mean, when lockdown first happened, it was the universal, it'll only be a week. We'll be okay. We'll be back in school.
2 weeks to shorten the curve or whatever. Yeah.
I'll see you guys in, this would have been Friday the 13th.
The 27th.
Yeah. And it's like, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Dishonest, these people.
And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm okay with this. I love not having school for a couple weeks.
Right.
I'll kick back. I'll enjoy it.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then it turned into a month.
Yep.
And then turned into 2 months.
Yep.
And then the Culvers and decor looked like a thing out of a video game where it was all like hazmated up.
Oh,
and you could still go through and get a burger, but it was dystopian.
Yeah. It's dystopian.
And then
it looks like something from a sci-fi movie of like this dystopian future. Like what's the Charlton Heston one that they remade? Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah. They remade that like 20 different times now. I think there's so many movies.
But that's what our neighborhood started to look like.
Yeah. And it got to the point where everyone is able to educate themselves and realize like, hey, this isn't an issue. This was like 5-6 months after.
Yeah, right.
Is that
despite the best efforts of the censorship effort, people.
And it's like, it just. So 6 months went by, and then it just eventually got to the point where they started rolling out the vaccines.
Yep.
And it's like, well, here's the mRNA. It's an experimental vaccine.
Yeah, but we definitely know it's going to be safe.
And we know it's going to be safe, and we know there's going to be absolutely no side effects whatsoever.
Definitely not.
And, I realize the validity of some vaccines, like the polio vaccine. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Like anything that can help people not be paralyzed for life is
of course. Yeah.
Is a good thing.
Yeah.
But when you start rolling out experimental drugs, and because that's what it was. It was just an experimental.
Yeah.
Most vaccines take years to develop properly.
Right.
And you're telling me that we rolled this out in a year and just so happened to get it perfect the first time?
Yeah, they crossed their heart and hope to die.
Yeah. And it's just like, I ended up getting the J&J vaccine because it was the only normal vaccine. I took a weakened form of it and actually used that because I had to.
For your school, probably?
Just for everything.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to reintegrate back into society, you have to be a good little,
good
little slave and get a shot.
Let me ask you this. Did you do it because you believed in the efficacy, that it was actually going to help you, or was the reason more to just like, I got to do this to
Absolutely
exist in society?
Yeah, no, I had to do this to exist.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it was to the point, I forget exactly what year it was when I got it. Because I waited as long as humanly possible.
Yeah.
But in order to travel internationally, you had to have it.
Yep.
And at that point, we were going to go to the Dominican Republic. My dad and a couple of his colleagues.
I know a lot of family and friends that was the simplest reason. Like, we're trying to go on vacation here.
And not even that. My dad and a couple of his colleagues have a nonprofit. It's an international music education project.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're going to go volunteer.
Yeah. Like, we were all going to go over
Trying to do a good thing.
Yeah, we were all going to go over there, deliver instruments. Just to underserved communities, and it's an awesome thing. It's still
to
ongoing.
bring some joy to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Because gosh, merengue music is phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's awesome. I got to see some live bands. I got to see a live jazz band that was insane.
That's their style of music there.
Yeah,
what's it called? Merengue.
Yeah, like MERINGE.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's phenomenal music. It's like the Latin-esque fusion. It's great.
Awesome.
And there's some of the finest trombone players in the world that come out of there.
Really?
And they, they don't have the structure that the U.S. has.
Yeah.
They don't have the Juilliards. They don't have, I'm kind of biased. They don't have the Luthers.
Okay.
The extreme music education opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so my dad, Dr. Tony Guzman at Luther, and then Dr. Benjamin Yates from the University of Louisiana Lafayette.
Okay.
It's a group that the three of them founded together, and we're actually going back this August.
Huh.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's actually forcing my dad to learn Spanish, which is cool.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
But
so that's what got you to like take this injection, was like you're just trying to live your life, trying to do a good thing. Like, I don't really agree with this, but hey, everybody else seems to be getting it. Nobody seems to be like, for the most part, people seem to be okay. Like, whatever, I'm just going to do it.
So that's why I deliberately got the least effective vaccine. It was like a 50% success rate with J&J.
Yep.
It was the only one that was a natural vaccine that wasn't, the experimental side of things.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, if I'm going to take anything, might as well take the one that has the least chance to give me long-term side effects.
Yeah.
And so I took that, and we were fine. I never got another booster or anything else.
Yeah.
I'm not like, the 37 booster vaccine people.
Man, yeah.
And it's like, at some point, you have to go back out into the world, man.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing about the whole issue with the vaccines is the coercion that was used. It's like, we are free, like, citizens of the United States. We are free sons and daughters of the living God. We have the right to decide what is injected into our bodies.
Yeah.
And it is not the government's prerogative. It is not a business's prerogative. It's not an airline's prerogative. It's no one's prerogative to tell us that.
Yeah.
And to use the powers of, money or social status or whatever to manipulate us in that way is just egregiously wrong.
Yeah. I mean, right at the beginning of the pandemic, I'm also kind of a stock nerd. I can attribute that to my dad.
You got a big brain.
Yeah. But I was like, hey, Dad, I'm thinking about putting $100 in this little thing. It's called Moderna. Stock is super cheap. And it's like, I'm going to put 100 shares into this.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, you don't even have $100 to invest in this. Why bother?
Yep.
And then you look at the end of the pandemic, Moderna's worth multi-millions.
Yep.
And the share price jumped up about 200%.
Yep.
And that's when you realize, like, man, this seems kind of suspicious that there's a lot of companies that are getting incredibly, incredibly wealthy on this.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know if it's big pharma. I just don't know if it was the abuse of power at the right time.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's.
I mean, foundationally, I think it's the way that happened in large part. Obviously, there's multiple factors, but Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, all these guys, Pfizer, they pushed this vaccine, right? But then they had willing allies in the government that pushed it to, like, the government, the bad actors in the government used it as a means of domination and control.
Yeah.
But the big pharma and sort of I don't know if you call it the pharma industrial complex, the people that write the medical journals, all of that, they went along with it because the government was forcing everyone to get it, or at least heavily influencing everyone to get this vaccine, but also in the name of the emergency was using our money to pay for that. So it's basically, tell me the difference between a drug dealer that, uses the most powerful bullies on the block to enforce his ability to sell heroin and cocaine in a neighborhood, or Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson using the federal government to bully people into taking a drug.
Yeah.
Any drug.
There's really not much of a difference.
Right.
And that's honestly terrifying at how quickly those similarities can pop up.
Yeah. So that's what got you, that whole journey is, what informed you into like, well, I don't know what to do, but I'm going to just stand up and do something.
Yeah. And then I think really the tipping point of getting me involved was Charlie Kirk getting assassinated.
Yeah, what a man.
And I'm still a preacher of his word to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, one of my favorite things is he always says that discussion or like relationships die when discussion stops.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've gotten to the point where my fiance was called a fascist on campus the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, we've stopped having reasonable discussions. We've just started screaming at each other. We started killing each other.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, no matter who's president, no matter who's in charge, the sky is still going to be blue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still going to be incredibly humid in Iowa in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're already seeing that now.
Yep.
But it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
At how quickly people can become divided. And it's just, I told my fiance is that when Charlie was assassinated, same day, I had a conversation with her, and I said, I love this country too much to be silent, and if we are silent, they win.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
And so that was, I joined up with the Winneshiek Republicans. I became their co-chair.
Thank you.
Just pretty much overnight. And I'm trying to help bring in and usher in the next generation of politics.
Yeah.
Or politics and politicians, because we are the ones that are going to be impacted by all of this.
Yep.
We are the ones that are now facing the loneliness epidemic.
Yep.
Because of the COVID lockdowns.
Yep.
We are now the ones that just, I don't know. At some point, all you have to do is just throw your arms up.
You just throw your arms up and and this is what Charlie was so good at, was engaging in that discourse. And this is why, he was such a threat, is because and his call was to, I don't know if you call it like the realm of prophecy, or he spoke the word of God, is what I mean by that. And he did it with such grace and such power because he took up his cross. And the cross for him was, people were so vicious to him. Yeah. And he returned grace.
And he always smiled and just said, hey, thanks for coming in. You know, thanks for talking to me.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to judge you. All I'm saying is hey, here's where we disagree. Let's figure out how we can come together.
Let's figure out how we can come together.
Just seeing everyone afterwards celebrating his death.
Why?
What good does that do?
Yeah.
And it's absolutely a horrible thing. Terrible, terrible thing.
And it just exposed, anybody who's a student of history and was paying attention, you can tell what's in the heart of these. And it's not all of, the liberals or the Democrats or whatever, but the controlling interests of that, left-wing politics in America is the exact same thing as what you saw with the Bolsheviks in the Soviet Union. When they eventually became the communists and took over, and Lenin and Stalin and, tens of millions of dead people and all that.
We saw a lot of that, essentially the Eastern Bloc kind of thing with the lockdowns. Yeah. Is that, we had secret police going around reporting people that were outside of their house without their masks on. Yeah. We had neighbors telling on neighbors, collaborating. Yeah. And it just...
where's our allegiance to liberty?
Yeah.
We're the people who are the thing that bound us together at the beginning is we're the ones who said that it was self-evident that we're endowed by our Creator with the right to liberty.
The 13 original colonies, half of them hated each other. Virginia and everyone else did not get along. Yeah. And that's why there's so much compromise done with the Constitution, why there's so much compromise done with the Bill of Rights and everything else. Yep. Yep. And that's why we had the Civil War. Half of those existed along the pre-existing, the industrial base of the North versus the agriculture in the South. Yeah. And that's how divided those, the colonies were. That's how divided the states were. Yep. And the fact that we were all able to come together and just say, hey, you know what? We may not like each other, but we're going to work together to make sure that we can all just life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, we're going to come together under these ideas that unify us. What are those? We hold these truths to be self-evident. We're all created equal. Let's start there. Yeah. We are endowed by our Creator with the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yeah. Okay? We all agree on that. There's an institution that is created and put in place by the Creator to secure those rights. What is it? Government. We're going to be the people that hold it to be self-evident that that's the only authorized purpose of our government. That, by the way, that's still Declaration of Independence. It's the only thing the government is authorized to do. So if you work in the government and you can't connect what you're doing on a daily basis to securing the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you might be in rebellion against the nation that was founded by the Declaration of Independence.
And that just segues nicely right into one of my campaign points, is that I'm running on being pro-life. I absolutely value life. And as our representative...
Thank you for fighting for that.
Yeah. And as a representative, Michael Bergen didn't even show up for the vote on the heartbeat bill in Iowa.
Why not?
I have no clue. And
it's so terrible.
I was going through and just doing research because I'm like, man, a lot of people aren't happy with his voting record. Yeah. And I realized, man, pro-life, that's one of the easiest things to be behind. Right. Just don't kill babies. It's that simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just, one thing I would like to see is that, since I am pro-life, I realize a lot of people are like, well, like, hey, like, what about this scenario and this scenario?
Right.
It's like, what I would love is to find a way to help people actually carry that child to term.
Yeah.
And find ways to give government assistance for that.
Right. Hey, listen.
It's like, hey, if you're going to, force someone to have a kid,
yeah,
at least give them help.
I mean, we as a community have a duty to God
Yeah.
to help bring forth his children, right?
Yeah.
And if he gave himself to the cross to save us, well, then we can give ourselves to adoption, to supporting single moms, like all of that stuff. Like the community, we got to do that.
Yeah.
We got to own that.
I mean,
right?
A lot of what I've heard about the child care system, the foster system, is that it's incredibly dysfunctional.
Yeah.
So I would love to just sit there and just dig into it.
Yeah.
And figure out, hey, what's wrong with this? What's fundamentally wrong with this? How
Right.
can we change it to make sure that kids are sent to a stable home?
Right.
And that they're actually able to have a proper life.
Yeah. That's so true. And we just...
And I feel like a lot of times that people are just like, well, you have a kid, you had the kid, congrats, figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I would love to see just a little bit more work done, on the state level of either finding a way to figure it out with government, which never works,
Yeah.
or finding a way to partner with private entities that have already done this,
Yeah.
that are known to be effective, and figure out, like, hey, how do you guys do it?
Yeah.
Like, how do we make this happen, and how do we
Right.
make this, beneficial for everyone?
Yeah. Yeah. And we as a community of people have to, like, we must step up and do this.
Yeah.
Because the government just, like, if we rely on the government to do it, I know you know this, like, it's just not going to happen.
It's just not going to happen.
Right. So, I mean, the government can facilitate an environment that fosters the success of this, but you're right. We have a disaster on our hands with the foster care system, although praise God for all the warriors in the foster care
Yes.
system. We have Mandy Shivers was on here, and she's running for state senate down kind of near Pella. I can't remember her. But anyway, she's just awesome lady.
Yeah.
Like, her and her family, they take kids in, they fight for them. She's working on human trafficking at the Capitol and trying to use empower our government, empower our law enforcement to, like, for one thing, recognize the problem, but also to, like, free up resources in the Department of Public Safety to, like, take action, do stuff. Like, I mean, this is here. We gotta, like, a fundamental thing, liberty and life. Like, the government's job is to secure those things, and the people who are the most powerless are the ones who are being trafficked, the ones who are unborn, the ones who are, like, all of that stuff. So,
I mean, some of the most godly people that I know are the ones that don't even have kids of their own.
Yep.
They've it's a man that I've known for a very long time. Mm-hmm. I think he's had close to 7 or 8 foster kids that have come through his home.
Awesome. Yeah.
And they're from different parts of the world, and it's a great thing that people like that exist.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. It's awesome.
And there's the people who do that, and there's the people who support them, and the people who run the different parts of a church community that do that, and different, like, our education system needs to support that. Like, we've got all these aspects of society that need to come around, and, like, we need to displace this idea that, like, I'm living mostly for myself, and in place the idea, like, I'm living for my God, and my God gave his life for me. So I, therefore, am going to give my life for my God. Or one of the things that Jim Carlin likes to say, you can love God by loving other people.
Yeah.
Like, the people of this world are God's offspring, right? Like, we all belong to him. And Lord knows it's hard. Life is hard. So if you've been saved, if you have the Holy Spirit in you, it's like, it is your responsibility. It is my responsibility to show God to the world by just loving people in the practicalities of everyday life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be a little history nerd here for a second.
Oh, please do.
Please excuse me.
Love it.
But it's one of the few actually good religious teachings I got when I was at Luther. Mm-hmm. Is because you're required to take religion courses.
And Luther, I'm assuming, is a Lutheran school, right?
Yeah. So we have a statue of Martin Luther on campus.
Yeah, it's got old school, like, roots and, like,
Granted, we also have a pride group there, but that's it is what it is. But I took a course on the Reformation and learning about how Martin Luther fought the Catholic Church back in the day, and one phrase stuck out to me is sola fide and sola scriptura, by faith in Scripture alone. And that's a lot of what I've founded my beliefs on. Is because I grew up in a terrible church, and it was one that condemned people for having right-leaning views. It's like, oh man, if you're not willing to help every single immigrant, you're a terrible person. And,
Really?
Yeah. And now,
tell us about. So this church was saying that basically you had to conform to basically the Democrat view of immigration.
Yeah, and the church now has a giant rainbow painted on the side of the building that they use church funding for, and it's the Global Methodist now.
Yeah,
So
the rainbow is a statement of like their solidarity with LGBTQ and whatever. Basically defying. They're saying that identity comes from within these people, not saying identity comes from the Creator. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and it's just so. I think we left that church when I was about 13. And so I've struggled heavily with my faith growing up because I haven't been in a stable church
was it
structure.
like? Yeah, what did your parents say? Was it always like that, and then or did it change? Or
I mean, my mom was raised Methodist. I'm not quite sure what my dad was raised, but he was definitely religious.
Okay,
I'm not sure if it was like a Southern Baptist thing or
sure,
what,
but he's from Louisiana.
Yeah, he's from Louisiana.
Yep.
But it's like I wrote. I was very, very young, but it was like in a Sunday school class, I wrote Jesus sucks on the wall.
Wow.
I was like 5.
Yeah.
And it's just, I never had that good relationship with Christ.
Wow.
And then about 2 years ago, at this point, one of my friends texted me and said, hey, we have a good church in town, Stone Ridge Community Church.
Yep.
Our entire message is unapologetically preaching the Bible.
Good for you.
And I joined up with that group, and I am so thankful that happened.
Wow.
Because life without Christ is absolutely horrible.
Yeah, and tell us how. So you went to the church. How did you meet Jesus there, or what happened? Like how?
It's just the community there is phenomenal, and it's I plugged in immediately. And my pastor's phenomenal. He's a great man. He is a Michigan State fan, so I have to give him some grace for that.
Yeah, but Jesus says love your enemies. Yeah. So it's.
But it's just. Phenomenal guy, great pastor, and he doesn't include his own points. It's simply, hey, here's verbatim what the Bible says. Yeah. Here's how we should live, and here's literally for the past 11 weeks we've been reading out of Exodus. Okay. And that's what our entire sermons have been, based around. Yeah. And it's a phenomenal community, and I'm so thankful I've had the opportunity to find that.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Because I, went through Luther where there were people up in the pulpit that were preaching about how, transgenderism is okay and it's an acceptable thing in society. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, you can realize that, at the end of the day, trans people are they're humans. Yep. And that they're struggling with mental illness. Yeah. And that's right. And it's just, I'm just so thankful for that community. Yeah, well, and that's where I'm getting the wedding done. Beautiful. And I've really just plugged into that group, and it's awesome.
That's amazing. Good churches are so foundational to good communities.
It's life-changing.
What do you like? Obviously, you've been very personally affected by this, but what is the church's role in community? Like, what does God? What does a church do? From what do they do to help us, or what's their role?
I mean, it's just lifting the community. I know a lot of Luther students go there because they're not satisfied by what the sermons that Luther is giving. Yeah, and they'll always have water bottles set up for them. So it's like, hey, if you're a student, just come in, get some coffee. Simple. We'll have some treats out for you, and just come get support from us. Yeah, and then I know we're doing. I think it's May 2nd. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to do it, but if I do, I will absolutely do it. It's we're doing it's a prom night for the I can't think of the right word. For people with disabilities. There we go.
Oh, okay.
And so we.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome event, and Stone Ridge has been doing that for 10 plus
Yeah.
years, I think.
I mean, you talk about being pro-life. That's like
Yeah.
some of the practicalities of like, you know what? We celebrate life.
Yeah.
And you know what? These people are fighting harder than anybody
Yeah.
maybe to like live, you
Yeah.
know? And God made it life good.
Yeah, and so it's a phenomenal thing. Is like a lot of our church members will go and serve food there. And
Yeah.
they'll help facilitate it. They'll help get set up and do everything else. And it's an incredible thing. And then we always do, it's Operation Christmas Child,
Okay.
which is a phenomenal thing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you give a gift, right? Tell us what it is.
Yeah, so essentially you send like a whole bunch of shoe boxes. They'll have, excuse me.
You're all good.
They'll have like Bibles and stuff that they'll pack in there.
Yeah.
Basic supplies, toothpaste, everything else. And they'll ship it all across the world and
Yep.
help folks actually realize that, hey, Christ is awesome.
Yeah.
And so that's a great thing we do every year around Christmas.
Yeah.
And I know we've donated shoe boxes before
Yeah.
too, and we've been involved with that.
Well, and just like the basic thing, like what your experience is, a healthy, functioning church lifts everyone up and teaches us who we are, from God, fills us up with the Holy Spirit, like, right? God works through our churches to do that. And it trains us to find our call.
Yeah.
And empowers us to fulfill our call. So this is a foundational piece of your life that you're able to stand on and say, okay, now I can go have an impact for like what God's calling me to do in the world. I'm going to Des Moines, or I'm going to fight in this primary to get elected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if we were live when I said this, but it's, I've always asked God, like, hey, what is your calling for me?
Yeah.
And it's
Who
like,
doesn't ask him
Yeah.
that, right? Like
And
we're all like,
and it's just, I would get job turned down, and then it's sitting here, an opportunity to run, an opportunity to just lean into the Lord. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the first speaking events I did. I was at Fayette.
Yep.
And I was talking in their...
My grandma's from Fayette.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I was talking to their central committee, the county. Mm-hmm. And someone asked me, why are you qualified to run? Mm-hmm. And I just said, well, at this point, I'm just running on my faith in Christ.
That's more qualification than most of our politicians.
Yeah. I realize I'm 22.
Yep.
And so I may not be the accountant, I may not be a lawyer, but I am someone who's actually willing to do what this state needs.
Yeah.
And I am willing to die on that hill. I'm willing to fight tooth and nail for it.
Yeah. Well, why don't you? Yeah. What's your? What are you trying to set right specifically in the office you're running for? Like, how have things been with what's the guy's name?
Mike Bergen.
Mike Bergen. Yeah. How are things with him? Like you mentioned the heartbeat bill.
Yeah.
Didn't even show up for it.
Didn't even show up for the vote.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like this is something in Republican politics in Iowa that we've wanted for decades.
Yeah.
Didn't even show up.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's I'm running my campaign on 4 things. Mm-hmm. So pro property rights, pro school choice.
Yep.
Pro-life, and then I always say it's the anti.
Yeah.
So I'm running on anti-woke and like dismantling the corruption that has seeped into our places of higher education, local government, and just a lot of the ungodly people.
Yeah, we have to take these things back.
Yeah. And a lot of these are based, they're my own beliefs. I believe them firmly, and I believe that as our representative, Bergen hasn't supported these.
Yeah.
So property rights.
But like these things are all on the Republican Party platform. Why doesn't he? Like, what's the deal?
I'm not sure.
I mean, I know he's not the only one. Lord knows we got enough people.
Yeah.
But like, why not?
But it's just it was.
Do these people even like us?
I don't know. He's a nice guy.
Yeah,
I've interacted with him multiple times.
Sure,
it's not like he's it's not like he's a sleazy guy.
He doesn't have like horns growing out of his head or anything like that. Okay,
But it's just like it was House File 639 and 943, both of those that would outlaw or prohibit the use of eminent domain for CO2 pipelines.
Yep. I'm very familiar with this.
And voted against both of those.
Like, why?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But America was founded on life.
Actually, can we just pause so everybody knows? What was that? If these eminent domain can be used for CO2 pipelines, what does that mean for property owners in Winnebago County and Fayette County and like where you're from?
Yeah. So we're, for better or worse, we're not going to be touched by the CO2 pipeline.
But I'm saying
Because,
if they chose to,
So what happens when you start eroding property rights like that is, for a fact, an AI data center is going to be like, hey, it's free real estate. And they're going to use eminent domain to come in. And then that messes everything up.
I'll use the government to grab the property for me.
Yeah.
And then I'll build whatever I want.
Yeah. And it's like, I've preached this to folks, is that Minnesota has stricter eminent domain laws than we do. And we all know how Minnesota is run.
Yeah, right.
The fact that they were able to say, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't allow private entities to steal land for private gain.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
Which, I mean, and I just like to point this out, too, is like, I'm glad that our legislature is fighting for private property rights in Iowa, but we don't need another law, actually, because we have a law. It's called the Constitution that says that the government is allowed to use eminent domain for the public use, not for a private company's use.
Yeah, and Texas has a law on this. I've done a lot of research on the topic, just trying to figure out what's the best way to go about it. And you're right. It's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Private property is what America was founded on.
Right.
And once you start eroding that, what are we?
Well, and there's laws. There's the Constitution, right? So if you're trying to overthrow displace the Constitution in favor of now private companies can use the government to get control of land, I mean, that's sedition, right? You're overthrowing the government of the United States. So that's a crime, right? We need someone with executive authority willing to enforce that law. Also, there's laws on the books that says depriving somebody of constitutional rights under color of law is a felony. Like, where's the county attorneys willing to prosecute this? Where's the attorney general that's willing to prosecute this? Like, our government has kind of lost the idea that it's responsible for enforcing the Constitution. It falls to like private nonprofits that we everything's handled in civil courts, but this is what our ancestors bled and died for, these rights. So I just like to point out, like, it's good. The legislature should fight as hard as they can for this stuff, but
to actually protect the Constitution.
What we really need is executive authority that's willing to enforce the law and seriously enforce the constitutional law, and against government people that are misusing it.
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, what I love about Texas's law is that it says that no matter how lucrative it is, you cannot use eminent domain for private gain.
Yeah.
It has to be for like the natural gas, the electricity, the bare necessities.
Public use, like things that everybody gets to use.
Yeah. And even then, I draw issue with that. I hate eminent domain as a topic. It's a nasty, nasty thing. But I realize the necessity of it.
Right. I mean, like, that's why they put it in the Constitution, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like we have our highways.
Yep.
Well, you know what? When they were building the highways, I bet there was a lot of farmers that were mad that Interstate 80 is coming through their backyard, or Interstate 80 is taking over part of their property. Even like, I mean, I hope they were all appropriately compensated for that.
Yeah.
But we do recognize as a society that, like, for the public use, there needs to be right-of-ways that we can all use to go through this. And, like, so for public use, yes, it's still, you're absolutely right, it's a dirty, ugly, nasty business because nobody wants their property messed with. And, like, we treasure private property so much. But we cross a major red line when it's not for public use anymore. It's just for this private company is going to use it.
To take advantage of some EPA stuff that Biden put through with the Green News deal.
Which is just nonsense. Yeah. Like, that's, the whole rest of it is like the idea that it's a good idea to pump CO2 into the ground is just insanity.
And especially because, heaven forbid that a explosion happens somewhere. Well, congrats. We don't have a single fire truck that's capable of actively dealing with a CO2 explosion. And it's just like you're running a dangerous, compressed gas throughout our entire state. What could possibly go wrong?
And, like, here's the thing. Other states have done this. And things have gone wrong. And people have died.
It's just like, history repeats itself. We're trying to stop it from repeating itself here in Iowa. And that's, I think that's something that would be great and needs to be done.
Yeah.
And then, so let's see. Then pro-school choice,
tell us about school choice, because, like, we just, like, Iowa has such a heritage in education.
Yeah.
Like, we've always valued it. And I feel like we've slipped a long ways, and we've got problems.
Well, I think what's happened is that you've seen the the pay for teachers stay the same, and you've seen the pay for administrators skyrocket.
Yes.
And so trying to figure out, hey, like how can we address that to prevent,
What are these administrators? What are they? Who are they?
I don't know. And I mean,
anybody know?
I mean, you see the case of like Ian Roberts in Des Moines making $300,000 a year, despite not even being qualified to work in Iowa.
Yeah, tell us who this guy is, just for people who don't recognize the name.
Yeah, it was the massive issue with the Des Moines superintendent.
Yep.
The director for the largest public school district in the state of Iowa. Wasn't even qualified to work here.
He was here illegally.
Yeah,
right?
he was from Guyana, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
And showed up in Maryland, said he got his doctorate at some point, and
Yep.
had all these fancy qualifications. Right. And the biggest school district in Des Moines they use like a third-party vetting software.
Right.
And they said, oh, yeah, this guy's legit. What could possibly go wrong?
I'm a private employer. I have to fill out my I-9 form for every employee that we hire and everything. Like, right? You think what would happen to me if I hired a guy like that?
And it's just like, I mean, I know, I think it was like Jackie Norris that was running as a Democrat that was on the Des Moines school board. She was running for Senate and immediately dropped out. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It's like she dropped out like the week after this released because people realized it's like, wait a minute. If you're not, able to have effective oversight over the largest school district in the state and employ a guy that's not even able to be here legally.
Yeah. And the way he got busted with cash and guns, high-speed chase and all this great, like, it's like, what the heck? Who is this guy that's in charge of our kids? Like, it's just madness.
At some point, I expected Vin Diesel to come in and be like, family first. And then
this is about family.
And just turning into a Fast and Furious movie. It's that insane.
Yeah.
And then just because it's what's happened is that the public schools are so used to having this unlimited tap.
Yeah.
And I think 56% of Iowa's budget goes to public education.
Really?
Where does it go?
Yeah.
I know when I was
it's not enough because Iowa City School District right now where I live, or close to where I live, is had a huge scandal because they overspent their money. They lost track of it all. They were going to do this big thing where they were going to start doing preschool and everything. Well, they just totally mismanaged their budget to the point where they can't afford that. So they had to, there's just total disaster. Cedar Rapids, north of here, total disaster financially. Like it's
it's just when you're not run like a business, bad things happen.
Well, and the problem is, like, what I would love, if you're in school board or teacher or superintendent, principal, whatever, like, what we need is people who are willing to humble themselves, to serve, recognize that God invested the authority for training up kids into parents, and you're the servant of that need if you're part of a school. Like, and to the degree, like, what I hear them always talking about is power and money.
Yeah.
It has to do with, like, the crisis of, like, no public funds for private education. Well, you guys aren't serving anybody.
And this is also the precedent of this has been established by the Supreme Court. I forget what it was, but I think it was a case out of Kansas that said, like, hey, assuming it's for secular items, public funding can go to private schools. I can't remember exactly when the case came through. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But it's just when public schools fail, what's left?
Yeah.
And we've seen this across the country, is that public schools are failing. Half of the kids can't read at an appropriate level. And so, I mean, I'm from a family of educators. My dad teaches, he's at a private college, and then my mom teaches at a private Catholic school, despite us not being Catholic. But it's just, you realize that just, again, it's that endless tap of money.
Yeah.
And it's just when you realize that if you start having public schools compete, if you start having them actually have to work for their money and not just get an empty flow, good things will happen.
Yeah.
Because I know when I was going through school, I was a part of the first generation that had a school-issued laptop. It was a brand new MacBook.
Okay, awesome, yeah.
And every kid got one.
Yep.
And then you
probably thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, it was great. And then, I played games on it all
of
the
course.
time. Yeah.
Like every kid would do,
and it's like, half the rooms in the school had at least 2 brand new smart TVs.
Yep.
And it's just like, look, I understand teachers need all the help they can get.
Right.
I mean, overworked, underpaid.
Right.
And it's just, when you remove them completely from the scenario, like online education sucks.
Yeah. It's just
like using
the idea that you don't, as a student, you don't need somebody's who's older, wiser, more experienced, actual attention on you to be trained up is just, that's just foolishness.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked with some of my former teachers about this, and it's just like, look, I don't learn anything sitting staring at a computer.
Yeah.
I hated it. It was like IXL.
Yeah.
And it was like the super specific like grammar stuff. It's like, I appreciate the work that it did. I learned absolutely nothing during COVID. Like when we were all forced online staring at the screen, I learned absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's just humans by nature are social creatures.
Yeah.
You learn
We're
by
made. Yeah.
monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
And it's when you remove that element, when you remove that human interaction, because, we have an extra, let's see, we have an extra $10 million in the budget.
Yeah.
Let's blow it on something.
And I just, from the business world, my family runs an internet company. Like, I've seen throwing money after a bad leader it doesn't help.
Yeah.
But the other thing is it's not neutral. What it does is it amplifies their ineptitude.
Yeah.
So, I just think that's what's happening. As a society, we care a lot about our kids. We care a lot about, that's why there's what'd you say, 54% of the Iowa's budget?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is, goes to, we clearly care a lot, but what we need is leaders that are, willing to do it right. And that's kind of where you're starting to talk about, maybe we ought to have some competition with the school districts. Yeah. Well, yeah, we should have that, but school districts, get to work, please. Yeah. It would be better to have good function. We have this mindset in right-wing politics that the schools are so far gone that they're just our enemies. Yeah. They're teaching Marxism and what. Well, I mean, that is actually true. They are bastions of.
I saw that firsthand.
Yeah.
Going through a private liberal arts college.
Right, but there is nobody who is beyond the pale of humble yourself, repent, God's kingdom is available. The enforcement of God's kingdom in the education realm is actually great news for families, for students, for communities. Just please do that if you're an educator. I'm part of a school, my church, where we started our own little school. And we're just a humble, small little group. We have 5 students right now, and we're hoping to grow to 10 next year.
That's
what
awesome.
I mean? But you know what we're doing? We're doing a fantastic job with the students that God gives us.
Yeah.
And we're serving the needs of them, serving the needs of their families, and we're doing it way more cost effectively than in terms of the amount of dollars it costs us per student. They're getting our kids are getting better attention from their teacher. There's the student to teacher ratios much more effective. So there are ways to be better. Yeah. Right. And so yes, let's open up the options with school choice. Yeah. But also come on, guys. We would love to have you. We would love to have your help. Winnesheek County School Board or whatever, whatever that is.
And it's Decorah is one of the top public schools in the state.
Okay. Yeah.
Not to brag, but
that's great though. That's awesome. Something you should be proud
of.
And
I've seen it steadily go downhill. I've seen the sheer amount of money and just everything involved with it is just incredible.
Yeah.
And it's we've skidded, and all of the schools across the country have.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the issues of standardized testing. It's just this is a lot of stuff that's not going to be and it's fixed.
Yeah.
It's going to require just sitting down and actually having a conversation with, hey, how do we fix the education system in this country? Yeah. And, I'm a firm believer in education.
Yeah. You're married to or engaged to an educator, right? So, your dad's an educator.
Every single Smith kid or Smith man is either engaged or married to an elementary teacher.
Yeah. So you got amazing experience.
Yeah. And I realized very quickly that I don't want to be an elementary teacher.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't mean you're not going to support and build up and raise up elementary teachers.
Yeah. And realize hey, I'm coming in with a lot of this just life experience. Maybe not from being in the classroom directly, but from hearing from, my parents, my sister-in-law, about how like the administration just doesn't care.
Man, like why?
You have repeat students like causing problems, and you can't do anything about it.
See, like that is just so frustrating because it's like, and then that trickles down to the teachers. Like, right? A teacher who's trying to run a classroom needs to have order and discipline is basically bullied by the most misbehaving of the children.
Yep.
And so then what does that teach?
Yeah.
If you want to run the show in society, is you
Be
just
loud
gotta
and obnoxious.
loud, obnoxious, misbehave, whatever you want to like. So then it is your responsibility as a principal, as a leader in a school to maintain that order because you're serving the students that do want to be educated, that do want to like go through the work. So like it's just layer upon layer, right? Yeah.
And it's it's going to be like an onion at that point where you have to peel it back layer by layer and figure out, okay,
right.
It's like where does this problem start? Where is the infection?
Yep.
And how do you treat it?
Yeah.
And it's I don't have an answer for that. I don't think anyone does. That's why it hasn't been done.
Yeah, it's just going to take a really like determined, tenacious effort to keep fighting for it. And like you said, like one of the things you're talking about, competition, right?
Yeah.
Well, competition, people can feel threatened by that, but like what it is like Samantha Fett loves to say this, and she's a great legislator in Des Moines. She's, I think, the vice chair of the Education Committee. Do you know Sam?
Not off the top of my head.
Anyway, I'll have to introduce you to sometime. She's great. But like what she likes to say is like, listen, guys, you have to get past the idea that the public school is the only possible solution for people.
Yeah.
She always says there's a role for what we have, and it actually can be a really good role. But this idea that you, because you're the public school, have the monopoly and the clairvoyance to like have every solution for every family, and like it's just pure arrogance.
Yeah.
And so like, how about this? Humble yourself, choose to have a generous spirit to like share resources, to allow that maybe there are alternative ideas. We're Americans.
Yeah.
We're entrepreneurs. We come up with the most creative new solutions. Like, why can't that be the case in our education world?
Yeah.
And like, why can't our teachers and our administrators and our whatever, like, open up their eyes and say, all right, okay, I'm going to recognize I've had a lot of control over the last several decades. Things aren't great. People are angry. Like, okay,
let's make something happen.
Let's try some new things.
Yeah.
Why not?
And, that's part of the reason why I'm campaigning on it is because Representative Bergen voted against the ESAs.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would he do that?
I have no clue. And he's also voted against parental rights, and it's been a massive just disappointment.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, thank you for running against him.
And it's like a lot of folks, myself included, didn't realize how bad his record was until I actually started running and started paying attention.
Yeah.
Because a lot of folks, I mean, it's hard enough to keep up with your daily life, much less the hubbub of Des Moines.
Right.
But then when you realize, like, this isn't accurately representing us, this isn't what the people want.
Right.
It might be what Decorah wants because we're a Democrat stronghold, but it's not what the rest of the district wants.
Yeah. Well, and there is right and there is wrong.
Yeah.
Like there's an order to, like you're talking about parental rights, there's an order to parental rights. The government, this is an issue of liberty, right? The government's job is to secure the right of liberty. Well, God is the one who put the responsibility for children into the hands of their parents.
Yeah.
So the government needs to secure parents' liberty to train up their children.
Yeah.
And now in Iowa, I think it's at the constitution level, the state constitution level, like where, well, hey, education's handled, at least funded, and like there's some infrastructure there by the state. Okay, fine, but that means the state, to the degree that it is doing education, is in the service of the parents.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's and that's why we have homeschool. Like that philosophy is ingrained in American culture, at least historically, is that like the parents are the primary authority. And like the idea that they're not, like, is something that we've been confronted with as like we get school districts in places like California and probably here too that groom kids to transition and like all these other things. Like, so yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Everyone's always like, oh, this never happens here. It's not an issue here. Mm-hmm. And I was talking with people in the district that were like, hey, this was an issue in Decorah about 4 or 5 years ago now.
Really? What?
Biological man in the women's locker room. in high school.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Before it was even big in national news?
Yeah, before this was cool and trendy, I guess.
And what did the school say about that?
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean,
just live your life, have fun.
I read a story on the internet the other day. I feel like this was Minnesota, but I can't remember. But these girls in their locker room had a biological male in there.
Yep.
And they were like, well, we're not changing clothes in front of that dude.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. The school disciplined them and forced them to strip off their clothes in front of this male. Like, I mean, that is just evil.
Yeah.
Like, that is like
There's
wicked.
There's objective good and there's objective evil. That is like over here objective
Yes.
evil.
Yes.
That is terrible.
Yeah. And that is what these people will do. So, like, all of you, like, well-meaning Democrats that are out there thinking, like, we're just trying to be inclusive and loving and stuff. Well, what you are the slaves of a militant cult that is seeking the conquest of America.
Well, I mean, I realize the fact that I'm running an uphill battle. I mean, Bergen's a 10-year incumbent.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And he has a name recognition, and folks will just see his name on the ballot and be like, oh, okay, he's been there forever.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why I have about 900 doors left I need to knock before June 2nd.
Okay.
And it is... Yesterday, I walked until I had blisters on my feet, door knocking, trying to get my last few... Oh, goodness. Mm-hmm. My last few flyers that I had left handed out before I got a new shipment in.
Yeah.
And it's just... I know for a fact that I am willing to put in the work to actually be a good representative.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks that I've talked to have been like, oh, man, it's time for change.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a Midwestern niceness. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I have yet to meet someone that says, oh, I'm not going to vote for you.
Huh.
Everyone always says, oh, man, I didn't realize his record was that bad. I'm voting for you.
Yeah, all right.
And so it's a nonstop of just trying to meet people.
Yeah.
That's some of the best things.
Yeah.
Is I got a photo. Here.
Yeah, let's see it.
This was coming from yesterday. Mm-hmm. Or a couple days ago. I can't remember when. It's all just kind of blurring together now. But it's a photo of my cat. You probably don't want to see that.
Cat photos are always good.
So that's the photo I took with my...
I saw this. So everybody tell people where to find you on Facebook, because this is your teacher, right?
Yeah. So it was my third grade teacher, Mrs. Wagner.
Yeah, I love it.
And I was knocking into Cora. I'm like, wait a minute, I know you.
Yeah.
And so I had it up on my Facebook page, Matthew Smith for Iowa House.
Yep.
It has a lovely photo that my fiance took.
Yep.
And then, so I was out knocking and knocked on her door, recognized me immediately.
Yeah.
And I just started giving her like the life update. Like, hey, I'm engaged now. I've graduated.
How long had it been since you've seen her?
See, the thing with like towns like Decorah is that you see people every now and then. Yeah. That's
like the best thing about Iowa towns, small Iowa towns.
Yeah. And I love that part. But this is the first time I've actually had to I got to have like a good conversation with her.
Yeah.
And then I realized that she's a hardcore Republican.
Okay.
And awesome lady. And it is one of the most humbling things in the world to have someone that you grew up respecting, someone that you just sat in a classroom with.
Yeah.
That took time out of her day to actually, educate me.
Right.
I probably wasn't the best kid. I can't say for certain.
Yeah.
But the fact that, she never gave up and actually remembered me almost immediately.
Yeah.
Is just... And then she said, like, yeah, I'm voting for you.
All right.
And I had actually started walking away from the house. I was like, hey, I got to go hit some more doors. Mm-hmm. But then I stopped, turned around, went and rang on her doorbell again.
Yeah.
I just said, I'm going to give you a hug.
Oh, yeah.
And then I just said, hey, do you want to take a photo with me for the campaign page? She said, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, initially she said, oh, wearing this? She had like a sweatshirt on. She was doing gardening. Yeah. And I just said, hey, you look better than I do. Get in the photo.
Come on, let's do this. Yeah.
And that is one of the most humbling experiences of my life up to this point. Yeah. It's like, hey, you have folks that you grew up respecting that are now turning to you to be the guide for everyone.
Yeah.
And to be a good state representative that's actually willing to go out there.
Right.
and fight for the issues that we haven't been represented on.
Right. Yeah.
And that is, I have no words to describe it. It was surreal, just being like, hey, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's such a good thing.
But anyway, so going back to the men and women's locker rooms.
Oh, yeah.
So that ties into the anti-woke portion that I'm running on.
Yeah.
Is that Representative Bergen was the only Republican to vote no on the bill that would ban biological men from competing in women's sports.
I mean,
he was the only Republican to vote no on that.
Loser. Why? Like, literally, you're a Republican. You could just blend in and just tell your people, like, whoever your handlers are, or maybe it's just in his own heart that he just believes this. I don't know. But, like, tell him, well, I had to go along with my party. Like, if you're just like, but no, he had to, not only is it in his heart, but he has to stand out and fight against it. I mean, that's just in madness.
And that's when I tell people about the story from Decorah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this is an issue here. This has happened here.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's a +9 R district.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are not happy with this.
Yeah.
There are Democrats that aren't happy with this.
Right.
And it's like the fact that you were the only Republican to vote lockstep with the Democrats on this issue.
I mean, that's just enough right there. That just shows just a total
disconnect,
just a contempt for what God made humanity to be. Like, the idea that men should be able to compete in women's sports is like, the fact, I just still can't even believe that, like, that they tried to, like, convince us that that was normal and okay. Like, I remember when I was
and it's like Riley Gaines has had, you know, death threats sent to her, and it's had like people lock her down.
Right.
It's like, are you kidding me?
Like, and these are the people that when I grew up with that were the pro women's rights.
Yeah.
Like, what it is, it's a death cult.
Yeah.
Like, they hate everyone. Like, they.
I mean, that's why, like, a lot of the folks like, you know, J.K. Rowling that are like the traditional feminists.
I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, by the way.
I never got into it, honestly.
I love J.K. Rowling, yeah.
But it's, you know, sort of like the traditional feminism is dead.
Yeah.
Because it's been replaced by the radical side of it.
Well, what's so ironic about it is it's
that they spent so long.
They sided with the men.
Yeah. It's like, it's just like, it's a giant circle. It's like,
oh no, this isn't about women at all. It's just about like
biological men that want to be women.
Yeah, or maybe it's just about communism. Yeah. Maybe that's really
I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's just like now we're like, it's full circle. Yeah. And it's one of the most hilarious things because no one's paying attention to it.
Yeah.
And like no one realizes the irony of just like, wait, what?
I think a lot of us,
why are we doing this?
I'm paying attention to it. A lot of people are.
Or I guess the loudest people are the ones that don't realize how ironic it is.
It's so ironic, and just that they like it's just this. I've heard it called projection, like this condition of like what I am. I'm so subconsciously like unsettled by what I am that but I'm too proud to admit what I am, so I must project it onto someone else.
It's like, I'm so good at digging a hole. Yeah. Look at me. And I'm so good at digging this hole. I'm not going to stop because I'm already digging it.
Yeah. And the preaching of tolerance that they have, and all it takes is one whisper of disagreement, and they just have a full-on meltdown of screaming.
And then they assassinate a father of two.
Yeah.
With Charlie.
Like, that's
just how quickly it happens.
That's what they do.
Terrifying.
He's like, I mean, heads up, people. Like, communism, like, or I mean, I know we don't call it communism here, whatever we call it, like left-wing politics, whatever. Yeah. Like, but when they take control, you don't get to vote again after that. And people die by the tens or hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
All it takes is a little disagreement.
It's just, you know, that's part of the reason why I was so invested in history, is because a lot of this stuff is just like staring you directly in the face.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you know, it's just when you cede all the power to the government and expect the government to do everything for you, that's when bad things happen.
Yeah, and one way to like discern when, like, because it is like there's gray areas and it's hard to figure out, especially like I don't know why, but there used to be like pro-life Democrats, and there used to be like, I mean, so like, but their movement seems to be so totally captured by this woke, you know, communism, whatever. But on our side, on the Republican side, it's like this foggy issue. Like we we have these people that their voting records are terrible.
That's like this is something I will preach until the day that I die. Is that I think Republicans are so used to being the minority party. Mm-hmm. Is that we've spent so long beating our chests. Is that once we get in power, we just kind of soil it.
Yeah.
And it's, Democrats, I applaud them on this. They are lockstep on everything.
Yeah, they are.
You can walk them off a cliff because you have a photo of Trump over there. Mm-hmm. And you can walk them off a cliff and they will all go smiling.
Right.
And the Republicans, even at the state level, is that the property rights issue, the CO2 pipeline, that is going to sink us at the state level. Yeah. Unless we get it figured out. Yeah. And I don't think it will. Yeah. And so that's where it's just sort of the appreciation of what the machine that the Democrats have been able to make. Yeah. I respect that.
Yeah, right.
As that you have a blind cult that is willing to get COVID injections. Yeah. That is willing to, abort babies even up to literally a week before the due date.
Or after it's born sometimes. They're willing to part them out and sell the organs and sell the blood and sell it's grisly.
Or you get up in Canada where they're doing assisted suicides now because the pain of living is just too much. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we have the capability to roll out a vaccine within a year, surely there's something science could do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's easier just to be like, hey, let's just get rid of this.
Just go along with it.
Yeah.
It's the easy path.
And I applaud the Democrats for having that lockstep of a team. Yeah. It takes a lot of work to do that. Yeah. And for better or worse, that's here. Right. And so that's not quite what I'm trying to create. I still appreciate the individualism of the Republicans. Yeah. And that's what we're built on.
We have to recognize that we're all created equal. We're made in the image of God, which means we each have something to contribute. And that's something that you have in you and that I have in me and that everybody that is totally unique and irreplaceable for it's you are part of God's solution for the world. Yeah. And you must be faithful to your Creator and find that call from Him and also be empowered by Him to bring that. Because if you don't do it, who else we miss out on God, the blessing of who you are.
Yeah. I mean, that's what people always say is that if you disagree with how the government is run, run for office yourself. Yeah. And lo and behold, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. It's I've disagreed with our current representation, and just that's why I'm running. Yeah. And as I've, I know more about Wisconsin politics than a lot of my friends do.
That's funny. Yeah.
And it's just, it's just mind-boggling. Yeah. I mean, even then, it's most folks in my generation, Savannah over there was yeah, I had no clue you were what is it, Gen Z? Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, a lot of folks don't expect people my age to know this much, to be this aware of the system. Right. Because half of us are just glued to our phones. And we're not tapped in. I know there's still stuff I'm teaching my fiance every single day about how the system works because she was never taught this. Yeah. And so it's just hey, it's I talk to my friends in Wisconsin. I know more about Wisconsin politics than they do. Yeah. I was telling them hey, go vote for Lazar for Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. It's a massive issue. Yep. And then my friend replies oh, it's yeah, we'll go vote. You could have explained it in one sentence about why it's important to vote. I'm dude, that's a disservice to us. Because if you don't vote, A, I don't think you can complain if you don't vote. Mm-hmm. But B, it's just I'm so glad that we have civics courses in high school now. Yeah. And I'm so thankful that my understanding is that they're required now. Mm-hmm. It's been a while since I've been through high school, but it's just the civics and government and understanding.
People need to understand,
why this is important. And it's I'm talking about a lot of stuff with the Texas Senate race and all that jazz because I have a lot of family in Texas.
How would you for just sort of the regular person in Winnebago County or in the surrounding area there, Decorah, there's an aspect where you have a passion for this and you are going to be the one who dives deeper probably than 99% of the population into it. But we all have at least some responsibility to inform ourselves and to know. And you mentioned a minute ago, like what it's like to be plugged into your phone, or to be, for earlier generations, it's plugged into the TV.
Yeah.
How do you move from just being plugged in and receiving to like, well, what's the way to begin to inform yourself?
Yeah. It's just eventually I think you have to reach a breaking point.
Okay.
Of not being informed.
Okay.
And so one of my friends, he was a social work major.
Okay.
And an incredible guy, incredibly godly man.
Yep.
And he realized as he was going through the social work is that there's a fundamental issue with like a lot of with a lot of the teachings that go on in the social working world. Mm-hmm. It's hey, it's okay to feel sad.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. And it's limiting the ability for people to actually pick themselves up by the bootstraps and go get to work.
Yeah.
And it's just there's a fundamental issue there.
Stagnation.
And he called me up the other day and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about trying to start like a nonprofit that helps combat this."
Yeah.
And helps sort of like make a new...
So he's being plugged into this system. We got into social work because he wants to help people, right?
Yeah.
And so he's going down the path and realizing that like at least the people he's working with are not actually helping.
They're just perpetuating.
They are affirming people in their sadness, in their loneliness, in their ineffectiveness, in their like. And he's like, well, God made people to be powerful, to like make an impact, to like.
And he just called me up out of the blue the other day and told me that.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, go for it.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's, and just made me realize because he went into college. He's told me this. He went into college as a Democrat.
Huh.
And like not necessarily, believing and not necessarily being a man of faith.
Yeah.
But I watched him personally just transition. He joined the Catholic Church.
Yeah, not that kind of transition for anybody who's wondering.
the proper transition. Of just
so he joins a church.
Joins a church.
Yep.
And just really leans into this. He starts asking me more questions, like, "Hey, like, what are your thoughts on this?"
Yeah.
And engaging with him. And I said, "Dude, this is awesome."
Yeah.
And just I think folks don't always hit the breaking point until it's too late.
Yeah, so and in order for him, like what you're saying is like maybe it's like walking in faithfulness. Like he's trying to do a good thing. Like he recognizes these people he's trying to help are made in God's image, that they have a higher call, whatever. So being like attached to that eventually led him to like, the strategies that we're implementing are failing.
Yeah.
That ain't going to work.
Yeah.
So then he has to like, well, what is he supposed to do? Call his friend that knows history. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just the proverbial breaking point that I'm referencing here is just like hitting a point where you realize that something has to change.
Yeah.
And like learning how to, identify when that happens.
Yeah.
And realizing like, okay, I'm actually tuned in now.
Yeah.
I'm actually invested in this. I'm actually researching this and doing all that stuff.
See, I think that's for everything else, there's a lot of parts that go into this, but like the embracing of that I am responsible for what my mind does.
Yes.
And what I put my attention towards is going to affect me mentally,
100%.
Emotionally, at my soul level. The same way if I eat junk food, that's going to have an effect on my body. If I give my attention to junk information, that is going to have an effect on my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's awesome. And I'm fighting and trying to get a lot of my other friends from college that aren't plugged in.
Yeah.
Getting them to realize, like, hey, this is some massive stuff that's happening here.
Yeah.
It's like we're seeing countrywide redistricting efforts. Mm-hmm. Like I told my friend, like, that's why the Supreme Court election in Wisconsin was so significant.
So important, yep.
And it's just, it's the little things that no one pays attention to.
Yeah.
Are often the ones that are the biggest harmers in our everyday lives.
Yeah. I had a guy on, Curtis Bauer was on here the other day, and he, Iowa Fathers? Is that his? Yeah.
No.
He started another... Reforging families. So, but what he said was like the most powerful position in the government is a local district judge.
Yeah.
And, it sounds kind of crazy when you think about like, well, I mean, isn't the president the most powerful or maybe the Supreme Court, but certainly not the local district. But
I mean, we're seeing what happens now with how weak the presidency actually is.
Yeah.
Is that, I forget the exact split right now for the Senate, but X amount of Democrats are able to shut down the
54 to or 53 to 47 or something like that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just the ability to shut down one of what's supposed to be, one of the most powerful people in our government.
Yeah.
Is, for better or worse, actually how it was intended to be. We didn't want a king. We haven't had a king since 1776.
Right. Yep.
So for all the No Kings protesters, congrats, guys. You put in a lot of work.
There's
You've done a lot of good.
King. Yeah,
there's still no king. But it's just it's always the local ones, the school board, the mayors, the city council. It's like, I know Decorah City Council has rammed through, I think, $30 million in funding for stuff because the Democrats see like, oh, public school, yay, and we'll vote for that. And it's and Des Moines doesn't have a say in that.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, well, this is who we voted for. This is what we're stuck with.
Well, and they're really, if we can come back together under the banner that what the government's responsibility is to secure the rights.
Serve the people.
Serve the people by securing the God-given rights that we have, which is life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Well, that's fine. Like, I mean, I can at least have a conversation with a Democrat about that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, okay, like we don't all have to like think about things exactly how I do. Yeah. I have strong opinions about, and I, believe they're well informed and all that. But like, if you're at least contending for liberty, you're at least contending for life, we can come together on that, right?
And I was having a conversation with a guy. He had a Rob Sand sign in his yard.
Yep.
Staunch Democrat.
Okay. Yep.
And we both realized, like, look, we agree on about 95 to 90% of issues.
Interesting.
And it's the fringe 10%, the 5% that divides us.
Yeah. Okay. So, but like, what's his why was he a Rob Sand guy? Can we or did you get to talk to him about that?
Not a ton. It's just.
Maybe that's for the best that you didn't dive into that. Maybe it was like, hey, let's just talk about what we're actually trying to be as a community.
Yeah. But and that realized that we're not really that divided. Yeah. No matter what the media says, no matter what a lot of the pundits say, like, hey, we're divided. Grr. Yeah. You should hate Republicans. You should hate Democrats.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like we agree on about 95% of issues. And a majority of people that are elected, I think, are there for the right reasons. I'd like to believe so. Doesn't always, isn't always the case. I mean, we see that with Elon Omar up in Minnesota. But it's just like, I often think that people that are there serving the best interests of Americans, because there are so many different ways to run a country. There's a reason why there have been empires throughout history. There's a reason why, the Brits went from, like the king and ruling everything into a constitutional monarchy and having parliament and having all of this. And it's just, there are so many different ways to run a country that eventually, once you boil everything out, there's like 5% that divides us.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Because I do really think, like, when I just talk to somebody, if they're politically different from me, what you can't talk about is Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump, like, there is this like thing that triggers in somebody's mind that like he's just the devil made flesh.
Yeah.
But if you just have a conversation about the way schools should run or like what should nobody wants higher taxes.
Yeah.
and
it's like
no Democrat, no Republican, nobody wants higher taxes.
But it's like when you start talking about Trump, their eyes glaze over almost.
Yeah.
And they completely change. It's like when Trump won in 24, I had professors that were canceling classes because they were so heartbroken that Trump won. And I walked into classes.
Like, what did he do in his first term that was so bad? Like, come on.
I don't know. And it's like I walked into classes and like people were openly weeping and hugging their friends. And I walked in with the biggest smile on my face, shaking hands, knowing exactly who my friend, like knowing who my friends were and what they believed.
Yeah.
And we were all celebrating. But then you realize, like, if you flipped, if Kamala won, yeah, that would have been an absolute disaster for the country, but the sky is still blue. We still have to go to work. We still have to put in time.
Yeah.
And we'll
The government's probably just trying to kill you now.
Yeah. and what we'll do is, if heaven forbid it gets to the point we have the Second Amendment. I'm a firm believer in that.
Oh, yeah.
And, if it got to that point, hopefully it doesn't. But,
we're Americans.
We're Americans. We'll vote her
defend-
out in 4 years, and we'll call it good.
Yeah.
And that's the, it's like the Supreme Court election in Wisconsin. People are like cheering and, having like thinking it's like the second coming of Christ.
Yeah.
A Supreme Court judge in Wisconsin
Right.
that was a liberal one.
Right.
And it's just I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that, and there's some legitimacy to this, that there's, like, a lot of Democrats point over at the right and say, like, well, they think Trump's the Messiah, and and there's, like, I mean, we definitely have kind of the Trump cult on our side too,
Yeah.
which is like, oh, that's not the right thing either. I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's a man, and like he's being used mightily by God. I don't think there's any debate about that.
Yeah.
Like, I've lived through the Bush years where we had a Christian president. Like, nothing ever happened for pro-life with him.
Yeah.
Nothing ever, like, I mean, like,
I remember this vividly. It was a constitutional law class my freshman year.
Oh, wow.
It's one of the hardest poli-sci classes at Luther, and I strolled in as a freshman first semester.
Awesome, yeah.
I ended up with a B+ in it.
Good for you.
So that was
Okay,
awesome.
yeah.
But I remember we were having a discussion in class that said, all right, everyone, put your heads down. The question is, do you think Roe v. Wade is constitutional? And so everyone put our heads down. It was a blind poll. And I put my head up, and everyone put their heads up. And my professor goes, so Matthew, you're the only one that said it wasn't constitutional.
Huh.
And I just immediately said, yeah, it's a gross overreach of the 14th Amendment. The right to privacy doesn't necessarily exist in the Constitution.
Yeah.
And it's a massive overreach of, it's just the Supreme Court legislating.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible thing, and it
Well,
should never happen.
And, like, I mean, the Constitution says no one shall be deprived of life without due process
Yeah.
of law. I mean, like, so the idea, I mean, I know what the reasoning is, that an unborn person is not a person, but, like, that's just total nonsense.
It's just objective falsehood.
It's just like, yeah, like, I mean, like, they, like, the left-wing people like to say science is real. Well, science is real.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Like that's a person.
Yeah.
So the idea that you can deprive that person of life without due process is just rebellion against the Constitution.
Yeah.
And I don't care what the jurisprudence says. Rebellion is rebellion. Like,
Yeah.
right? I sat in Washington, D.C. in courtrooms where they just straight up told me, like, hey, listen, like, this system depends on the Constitution being surrendered. Like, that was like, the judge was talking to me about the fact that I took my case to trial. And he says, well, hey, if everybody did what you did, the system would break down. I'm like, so your system depends on the surrender of the Constitution. There's another power in place here. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, like, I mean, judges have a responsibility, first of all, to bring about justice and righteousness,
Yeah.
right? And that needs to happen under the law,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. What are your thoughts on the birthright citizenship?
Birthright
ruling?
citizenship.
How do you think it's going to go? What do you think the split's going to be?
Oh, what I mean, probably Roberts and ACB, Amy Coney Barrett, will side with foreign countries and allow people to have their their babies
Yeah.
here, and have them be like, a million Chinese people raised in China can somehow be American citizens.
Yeah.
that's a pragmatic, like, I'm just looking at how they voted in the past and things like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm in that camp too. Where
Yeah.
it's like, well, it's a great argument. It needs to be overturned. I don't know if the Supreme Court's going to do it.
yeah, I mean, it's obviously like. The idea that the Constitution says that just because you're born here, you're an automatic citizen, and like that applies to anybody who flies here, lands, has a baby, and then leaves the country, like, is just nonsense.
And
like,
then,
just
and then has a kid go to Stanford, then compete for China in the Olympics.
yeah, right. It's just so
It's
it's just insanity, and
Yeah.
like, so that's why I always say judges, like, if you don't understand righteousness and justice as the lens through which you interpret the law, you're just going to end up like as an enemy of your own country.
Yeah.
And so and like, here's the deal. We're Americans. You mentioned the Second Amendment a second ago. Like, I mean, if our judiciary is just betraying the country, like, they're just not going to be allowed to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be problems in this country, and we already have them. And like, I hate the idea of violence in the streets and stuff, but like, The judiciary right now is in the attempt to seize executive authority from the president. Well, this is happening all over the immigration case, where the Constitution says that the dealing with foreign nations is invested in the executive branch of the government, and that is handled. The power is invested in a president. What the judges are doing is seizing that authority under the color of law and saying, well, because these immigrants or these people with birthright citizenship or whatever have we have to adjudicate or work through the legal issues of who they are and stuff. No, they're from foreign countries, and that authority of dealing with them it comes from the president under the Constitution.
Yeah.
If a judge is opposed to that, they are not practicing jurisprudence, they're practicing sedition.
Yeah.
Pardon my rant.
No, that's all good. Hey, I asked you the question, so that was your response.
Yeah. Well, this is good. It's really fun having you here, Matthew.
Dude, this is awesome. I've never done something like this before.
Yeah.
And I'm totally down to do it again if you guys are.
Oh, yeah. We'll have you back at some point. Yeah.
Hey, I was going to say, what's to make it past the primary? We could talk then.
Yeah, for sure. What else? Is there anything else? I think we hit your 4 campaign points, right?
The pro-school choice, pro-life, pro-property rights, and then anti-woke.
Anti-woke, yeah.
I mean, I think we've done a pretty solid job at hitting all of those.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what your guys' viewership is in northeastern Iowa. I don't know if you have the numbers on that right now.
We'll get this to your central committee, and we'll share it around. And
I mean, I am my central committee, so if you send it to me,
perfect.
Yeah, but it's been an absolute whirlwind because I only really got into politics about 2 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. After a lifetime of studying it sounds like.
Yeah. And it's just I dug in, and immediately, I'm the co-chair for the Winnebago Republicans now. And I have a lot of folks that have agreed with me and a lot of folks that I've been really, really thankful to work with.
Yeah.
And hopefully a lot of folks that are going to support me in the run.
Yep.
We're going to have our next... I've never actually been able to address the entire group since I announced running.
Okay.
So it'll be awesome to... what month is it? April 21st.
Okay.
Is going to be a Tuesday, and I'm going to be up in the Winnebago Central Committee.
Very good.
And actually, be able to speak to people.
Yeah. Share your views.
Yeah, because you only meet once a month, so it's hard to get everyone in one place at one time.
Yep.
But like I said, I have yet to meet someone that says that they're not going to vote for me.
Good for you.
Again, I don't know if it's a Midwestern niceness.
Who knows?
Where it's like, oh, that's nice, dear. You have fun with that. And then they realize that the guy that's representing them is a rhino, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, I actually am voting for you. Good job.
Yeah, I love that. Hey, would you mind? So I feel like a lot of people, politics is just a mountain to them, and it's I wish I could make change, but I just have no idea what to do. So somebody. You're 22.
Yeah.
You're just fresh out of college, and you're already making a difference. You're part of the central committee.
Yep.
You're running. You're doing all this stuff. So, there's probably a lot of 22-year-olds in Iowa that, wish that they could make an impact. What's, the first 1 or 2 steps? How do you get engaged, get involved, start moving in that direction?
Yeah. The main thing is just meeting people.
Okay.
Because what that does is that it helps lead to relationships. I mean, that's how I got on here.
Okay,
Jim Carlin spoke at an event that we had up in Winnebago.
Yep.
And he was talking to me afterwards and said, hey, I really like your stuff.
Yep.
I'm going to send you Leo's contact information at the Iowa Liberty Network.
Yep.
And we're going to make sure, we'll try and help support you.
Yeah.
And it's those relationships that are awesome. I mean, I got to meet Eddie Andrews. I've gotten to meet Adam Steen. And I've gotten to meet so many awesome guys that I can help model myself after.
Yeah.
And help, understand how politics works, because it's a mess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I've realized that, there's not an election course at Luther that teaches you how to run an election. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Heck, the Secretary of State's website just says, all right, fill out these forms, have fun.
Yep. Well, but that is something we do at Iowa Liberty Network. We find people and we help build up. So, we're here to help you. And, but also, So you said relationships. Somebody who wants to get started in this relationships is like probably your county central committee is the best or a really obvious place to start, right?
Just the best place to start is just start going to your central committee meetings. It's
okay.
Because then what it does is that it gets you plugged in. It lets you know like, hey, what's happening? Where can I make a difference?
Yeah.
And
these are the people who are the hubs of information, political information in your community. So if you want to know like about what's going on with the roads, what's going on with the school district, what's going on at City Hall, what's going on with the county attorney's office. All that stuff is going to be, if you want to begin to learn about what's going on in your local community, the local central committee is a great place to start.
There is nothing more valuable than a 65-year-old retired guy that shows up to a central committee meeting.
Yeah.
Because they know everything about everything.
Right. Yep.
And
that's really what we need out of our like elders in communities. Like one of the main things is like, well, you know this community. You've lived here for so long. Like, bring your wisdom, bring your like your expertise about like just relationships and life and all of this. Like you've got a little bit extra time in your life. Hopefully, you're able to like either slow down at work or retire or whatever. Like, well, serve your community by being part of the central committee. Yeah,
and it's just again, that's where I've met a lot of relationships. Is I originally was doing it was the North Iowa Young Republicans. Mm-hmm. But we've since dissolved because 2 out of the 3 of us that founded it were 2 out of the 3 of us are running for office right now.
Good. That's awesome. Yeah.
And I was the secretary for them, and it lasted a whole like 2 months.
Okay.
And we didn't do a lot just because. So now,
well, you did a lot because I bet there's a lot of Republican groups that haven't raised up 2 candidates in forever.
Yeah. At the same time too, because it's So I'm running for the 63rd. Then it's Danny Ohlenberg was a part of that, and she's running against Jane Bloomingdale over in the 60th, I think.
Okay, Iowa House. Okay.
Iowa House.
Yep. All right.
And then another guy's a campaign man or working on one of the campaign teams for one of the governor candidates.
Okay.
And so we've all been like, well, we can't really do this anymore.
Right.
We don't have time.
That's great.
But
it's actually better to kind of, I think, get involved in something that's already in motion. Like there is a time and a place to build things up, but yeah.
Yeah. And and it kind of goes together with this getting involved in relationship building.
Yeah.
Is that I visited as a Butler County, their central committee meeting, because they were in the North Iowa district that we were marketing to for young Republicans.
Yeah.
And when I was there, I met this really young guy. His name was Joe Mitchell.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of him before.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I listened to him.
He was the youngest guy to get elected to the Iowa House, right?
And he has a better record than I'd say a solid 75% of the people in Congress now. Mm-hmm. And I immediately bought onto the campaign message that he was running. It's just like, get the corruption out of Washington. Mm-hmm. Trump's already done a good start with draining the swamp, but I mean, that's the thing with swamps is that there are going to be leeches that like to sit around for a long time.
A long time. It's going to take a long-term effort. Yeah.
And so I met him, and I mean, I'm in contact with his phone. He was originally one of the guys that encouraged me to run for this seat. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually running with his endorsement now, too.
Oh, good for you. Okay.
So it's awesome having that relationship with him because he's a phenomenal guy.
Yeah.
And it's, I've gotten to meet Representative Ashley Henson, and I've gotten to meet a lot of people that are just good people. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten to meet Jim, and I've gotten to meet all of these governor candidates, the statewide people. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten to meet like the auditor candidates. Yeah. And I've gotten to meet all of these people that are phenomenal and have so much experience that I would have not been able to meet had I not gotten involved with anything.
Yeah. Iowa politics is just shockingly accessible.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I've learned is like you can know your state senator, you can know your state representative really easily. The governor candidates are really not that far out. You can you start showing up at some campaign events and stuff. You can meet and talk to the governor candidates. Yeah. You can talk to our Senate candidates. Like it's really, it is quite accessible.
Like even the sitting representatives, at least in Ashley's case, her team is always flexible with me. I'm actually grabbing lunch with someone afterwards from her team. We're gonna grab like a Chipotle or something on the way back because I drive through Cedar Rapids.
Nice,
but it's just like the good friendships I've made from this too. It's just been awesome.
Yeah, man.
And now it gets to the point where everyone's like, "Oh, there's that 22-year-old kid running around trying to, make a difference." And I'm like, "Man, that's what I'm glad to be known as. I'm glad the guy glad to be the guy that's actually trying to change things.
Yeah.
Rather than just accepting the status quo.
Yeah.
Than accepting, the state government that shut us down during COVID. And it's been so fun. I've loved every minute of this.
What young man doesn't want, what man doesn't want, a cause that's worthwhile?
Yeah.
Like, you're an American, you can make a difference in politics. And if you're an Iowan, you can make a huge difference, just by starting to show up and do things. And, it's 1,000 times. I mean, yeah, it's a way more work, but it's 1,000 times better than sitting on your couch watching TV, watching movies, going to the bar. That stuff is just emptiness and stupid. Get to work.
And it's so awesome having the opportunity to do this, and just for the fulfillment it's giving me.
Yeah.
Because again, I had a brother that was a state trooper in Minnesota that didn't quit because he didn't want to get arrested for doing his job.
Yeah.
And it's just, one of my good friends is in the Navy right now, and serving the country that way. It's just everyone has their different callings, and I'm like, man, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I am so excited that I had never realized that I wanted to do this right now.
Yeah.
And it's what my dad said, is life is what's busy, or life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Oh, yeah. Man.
And it's just, I had two people call me. It was Jacob Hall from the Iowa Standard and Joe Mitchell. Both of them said, hey, you're going to run. It's going to be awesome. You're going to win.
That's amazing.
And it's still mind-numbing. Just 22, I'm sitting here doing this. I'm sitting here, meeting people and doing all this stuff. And it's so awesome.
Yeah.
That this is one of the very few countries where a guy like me could do this.
Yeah. I mean, we're probably the only country. Seriously. Because, I look at the rest of the Western world, and they've kind of I hope not, but it seems like they've surrendered a lot of the freedom that we're still fighting for over here. Yeah.
I mean, I wrote, oh my gosh, I haven't thought about this in a while, but freshman year in Decorah, you're required to do, I think it's called the FIRST project.
Okay.
Where it's like a research project. Teaches you how to look at sources and everything else.
Yeah.
And I wrote mine, freshman in high school, on why the U.S. should leave the United Nations.
Oh.
And some crazy...
Which we should definitely do.
Or I realized... I was throughout the entire paper, I was I realized the necessity... Or not necessarily the necessity, but the good that an international organization can do.
In theory.
Yeah. But what happens is that it's the Americans bankrolling European welfare states because we're funding 70% of the UN. Yep. And it's just the broken system that was left in place after World War II that says, hey, pocket veto, nothing can get done.
Right.
And it's just it's an absolute mess. So it either needs to be completely start over. Yeah. Or just heavily, heavily reformed and just take a sledgehammer to it.
Yeah, it's just get out of here, United Nations. I mean, it was one thing when we were just subsidizing a totally inept and useless organization, but when the COVID years kind of took the mask off and we're not just subsidizing ineptitude. We are subsidizing people who are actively going to try to take us over and kill us and enslave us.
And I think Europe is going through the same realization that we're going through right now.
You may be right.
There's nothing worse than a liberal.
Yeah. It's just terrible, isn't it?
And this is, again, where the politics nerd comes out, is that, AfD, Alternative for Deutschland in Germany, the alt-right party that everyone hates.
Oh, yeah.
And
I don't hate them.
I say everyone colloquially. But it's just the AfD in Germany.
Yep.
Reform UK, Nigel Farage's party.
Yep.
They're gaining traction.
The Italian prime minister, I can't remember her party.
Meloni.
Yep.
And they said, she's the most far-right president since Mussolini.
Yeah, okay. Whatever,
and it's just
she's not trying to enslave massive. It's she's not murdering millions in Ethiopia right now. Sorry.
And it's the French, the right party there, is going crazy, and that's why they arrested Marie Le Pen, their leader. I'm some absolutely bogus.
Their solution is just arrest people, imprison them, kill them.
It was a $10,000 campaign finance violation,
right?
And they threw her in jail for just the right amount of time to where she would miss the election cycle.
Probably everybody in the government could be charged with that, which is exactly what the law is designed for. Is you can just fry anybody.
And then you see Viktor Orban in Hungary, where it's a lot of the
he's gone now, right? He just got. He
Is
lost.
he gone?
He's out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
But still, it's a lot
Alex
of...
Soros was posting that like, oh, the Hungarian people have been freed. I'm like, oh, no, you guys are dead.
Have fun with the euro.
Yeah, right. I don't know anything about the other guy, but if general rule I have is if Alex Soros is supporting somebody, it's probably
Probably
like
the
a
wrong
communist.
one.
Yeah.
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 But it's just and Poland as well, I think, was going a lot more towards the right. And just a lot of people are realizing, like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
liberalism is terrible.
Yeah, it's just these are just awful people. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you just come back, please, under the banner of like freedom.
Yeah.
Like, can we have that?
And the best thing is, like, everyone's like, oh, America is, Nazis, and they're the worst people in the world. And then you quickly tell them, it's like, look, Poland uses their military to assist in deportations.
we don't
We're not
even
doing
do
that.
that. Yeah.
Like, we're using...
I'm about ready to start though.
Yeah, it's like we're using a security force with DHS that's comprised of, like, what? Isn't it like 50% Hispanic?
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
funny.
like there are a lot of...
Yeah.
Like, the stuff up in Minneapolis, I think it was the guy that had the issue with Preddy. I think the first name, I think it was Hispanic.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's what a lot of the stuff that people don't realize. It's like the people that are here legally and the people that are here that love this country
Yeah.
are in support of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff, man.
Yeah. We could go on and on about this stuff, but like, yeah. Is there anything else, Matthew? Can we? How do people find you? Like, let's.
Yep.
Like,
So, I was going to get a burner phone. I haven't done that yet,
Yep.
so I'm going to refrain from giving out my cell.
Yep.
Just because I've gotten so much spam to all my emails.
hey, that's we understand. But
Yeah.
your website,
Yep.
Facebook, those are two important.
Website,
Yep.
Matthew Smith for Iowa, I believe it is. Here.
Yeah. We'll get it.
See,
Oh yeah. There we go.
So yeah, it's let's see.
There we go. Can we hold this up? Here, maybe I'll do that.
Yep, and then
There we
so
go.
it's
yeah.
so it's MatthewForIowaHouse.com.
Yep.
That's my website, and then MatthewForIowa@gmail.com. That's just like the campaign email account.
Okay.
And then Matthew Smith for Iowa House. That's my Facebook page.
Yep.
And I will tell people this until I'm blue in the face. I've told this to everyone that I've talked to in my district. Is that if you have a question, why am I supporting this? Why am I?
Yep.
What are my thoughts on this? Send me a message.
Yep.
And I will probably reply with a half page worth of response because I'm an absolute politics nerd and I love talking to people about this stuff and why I'm supporting this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for being that way. That's good.
Yeah. And it's like, oh my gosh, I had a constituent yesterday give a story of they'd reached out to Representative Bergen wanting to know, like, hey, where do we put our yard trimmings?
Yeah.
Because we live out of Decorah city limits
Yeah.
and we're not able to use like the city dumps.
Right. Okay.
And he said, I don't know, figure it out yourself. Or it's like throw it in the ditch.
Yeah.
And the lady I was talking to just said, oh, well, okay, we'll just, if like police question us or anything, we'll just tell them that you said this was okay.
Yeah. Right.
And it's just like, that is one of the easiest things in the world to reply to.
yeah.
And it's just like, that's...
I mean, I just feel like so much of it comes down to is a lot of the people that are in our government just don't really like us.
Yeah. I mean, I got to give them some credit. If you're in Des Moines for 10 years and you are still able to live
Yeah.
and not be like so far gone that you just like don't like anything and you're just depressed all the time.
Sure, yeah.
Because, I mean, politics ages people. It's
Yeah,
insane.
it is a hard job.
Yeah.
And we don't want to discount the weight that even people we disagree with bear. I mean, it's a hard burden.
And it's like, I've told people this, it's not a personal race.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect Mike. I like the work that I respect the work that he's put in for 10 years.
Yeah. But the
'Cause
bottom line is, if
bottom
somebody
line
emails
is-
you a question, you're going to answer it because you
Yeah.
actually like that person.
Yeah. Bottom line is like, I'm actually going to support the issues and vote for the issues that people in the district want.
Yeah.
And
That's great.
so it's a political difference. And just to throw a bone to Rob Sand, I've attended a couple of his town halls just to see what all the hubbub was about. And one of the very few good things that he said was that if you're unhappy with how the government is run, just run for office yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that is true.
And that's one of the, if it's the who else but me mentality.
Yeah, get to work. Yeah.
It's just like, who else is going to run for the district? Who else is going to be a true conservative, a God-fearing conservative that's actually going to stand up for a lot of these fundamental things that are just important to everyone.
Yeah. We have a God-given responsibility. Like the Bible says, the government is God's servant to do you good.
Yes.
If you are an American, you are the government.
Yeah.
The Constitution starts off with "we the people." Like that is
Amen.
That's our government document. We
Plain
the
and
people
simple.
are the government. So
Yes.
it's time to get to work. And like faith without works is dead. So an intellectual assent to the idea that the government is God's servant to do you good is not enough.
Yeah. It's taking actually recognizing that and just getting in and doing work.
Yep.
And I'm so happy to get to work.
Yeah.
This has been so fun.
Yeah.
It's the most stressful thing I've ever done before in my life.
Yep.
And it's like I've dragged Mike Bergen's record and vote in front of him. Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
And I had governor candidates coming up to me afterwards being like, man, kid, that takes a lot of backbone to get up there and like absolutely drag his record as he's sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Which is, we need to do that.
Yeah.
And there's really no, like, if somebody is embarrassed or doesn't want to hear about their own voting record, what? I mean, I don't care what, like, I don't care if it's impolite or what. Like, too bad, dude. Like, either respond and defend your positions or get out of here.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that I have the opportunity to do this. And I'm so thankful that I have support from pretty much everyone in the district.
Yeah.
And I need to hit, we average anywhere from about 1,500 to 500 primary voters.
Yeah.
And so I need to get out. I need to absolutely demolish doors in the next month and a half.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like I said, people just kind of check out.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, this guy's been here forever. Check. Vote for him.
You just got to get out there and do it. And you can do it. You can do it for sure. So.
Yeah, and stuff like this is awesome. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done a podcast.
Yeah.
And this is great setup. Thanks again for having me on.
Yeah.
This has been incredible.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Matthew Smith, Iowa House, Decorah. Thank you very much.
Vote for me June 2nd. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.